Merch alert.
That's right, you heard her. We have merch now. If you're looking for a mug, a hoodie, a shirt, a blanket, we're your people. Be sure to check out our exclusive I Was a Bravo Fan Before Scandal tees. They will be perfect to wear while watching the VPR reunion.
Check out the link in the description of the podcast or our Instagram bio. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Bravo, We're Black. We are literally here with, and hopefully you have transferred over to YouTube. If you haven't, go ahead and go on YouTube because we have a visual for you because she's looking fabulous. We have the season, the reason for the season, the fantabulous Miss Summer Thomas with us from Martha's house. Black Summer House, Martha's Vineyard. We have like 47 iterations of what we call this show.
Yeah.
Literally are so excited that you're here and so thankful that you gave your time to be here. This has been a long time coming. And what a freaking season, Summer.
I know. Wait, but before we get into it, I want to tell you guys, thank you for having me on. Me and the castmates literally wait every week for your memes. And like, we'll like, as soon as they come out, we're like, do you see this one? Like, look at this shit. It's so like, we love it. And you guys have this beautiful ability to turn like some like heavy moments into fun and light and put a spin on it. So thank you so much for making us laugh every week. Like, we really appreciate it.
We appreciate how active you guys are with us and talking to us and also supporting us because we hold you in such high regard. Like, we feel like you guys are our cousins and we love the show. And obviously not everything is fun and light, but at the same time, it's like, come on, like this is comedy.
It legit is. I'll watch some things back and I'm like, what is this? Like, what are we even doing? Like, this is so silly, but yeah. So thank you guys.
And that's funny too, because it's like the first time I watch an episode, because usually I watch all y'all episodes at least twice, like twice or three times. The first time I take it so serious. I'm like, shit, what's happening?
Yeah.
But then the second time I'm like, oh damn. Especially once they show the trailer for the next episode and I see that you guys are in a better place. I'm like, oh okay.
Yeah. It feels like super heavy and it feels super serious like the first time you watch it, like you said. And then you watch it back and you're like, these people are just drunk as fuck, like acting a fool. Like, it's okay. It's not that serious. No one's like killing each other. It's just dramatic and it's a lot of drunk talk most of the time. So what are y'all drinking?
That's what we've been
What are we not drinking? Like, there's probably more alcohol in our house than there is food on a like everyday basis. So it's like we have everything available. I don't know if you saw Nick's, I'm sure you did, but I don't know if you saw the alcohol that was at Nick's Looks on the Bluff event. We had everything under the moon because some people have relationships with brands and so they have some stuff sponsored. And everyone has a different kind of preference too. Like, some people are bourbon and whiskey drinkers, tequila, vodka, champagne. So we always have everything really available. And it usually starts kind of first thing in the morning. It's either like, here's a mimosa or here's like a tequila sunrise. So it's just an ongoing kind of thing.
Tequila sunrise gets you right every time.
Or wrong.
Sometimes. But you came in during season 1, and I want to say, I don't know if it was exactly midway, but I know that it was during filming. How was it coming into the house where you see people and they already kind of have their little cliques, they're clicked up, or they already have their established friendships? What was that like?
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. As soon as I walked into the house, everyone was really welcoming. I had known Jordan since 2000. 2018, and I had known Jasmine since 2019. So it was like I already walked into the house knowing them for a few years. And yeah, I'm a pretty good conversationalist, so it wasn't like I came in like I don't have nothing to talk to you about. It's just like making new friends, and everyone likes to talk. Most people like to talk on this show, so it wasn't a hard thing. I did have to play catch up a little bit because it was just like why are they not talking, or what drama is this, or what's going on? But yeah, it was definitely easy to become friends with everybody.
How was it like adjusting to having like cameras around you?
Yeah, it was really weird at first because they don't prep you for anything. So it was just like I pulled up to it felt like an episode of Black Mirror. Like I was in an episode of Black Mirror, you know? So I pull up to the house and I get in the car. I don't know what I was expecting, but there's just like a man standing at the end of the driveway with a camera. And I'm like, okay, I guess I just go inside. Like you just, obviously, you just go inside like you just arrived. Like there's nothing different, except there's just a man standing at a distance recording you, which is weird at first. And it's weird kind of like I walked into the kitchen and obviously I said hi to everybody. And then there's just cameramen standing there. You're not speaking to them though. They're supposed to be invisible. So it's weird at first, but then I think like by the end of the day, it wasn't weird. It just became normal. And because you have cameras also like in every corner of the room too, it just becomes like a normal thing. It was weird having to like wake up to cameras, you know?
Yeah.
In your face.
And it was
like, let me brush my teeth.
Let me get the gunk out of my eye first. And then you have to be like, remember, like, don't fart as soon as you wake up because it's like there could be like, you know what I mean? So it's like you have to like be careful with certain things. But yeah, and the crew is an amazing crew. There's some people different this year than last year, but it's like family too. And it's funny when some crazy shit happens and then you see like the cameramen laughing too. It's a good time with everybody.
Is it hard not to make eye contact with the camera too? Because I could see myself like looking directly into
I definitely was like
watched the other Summer House, but everyone is talking about how Lindsay like looked directly at the camera. Like she broke that fourth wall. Like I imagine that I mean they included that on the White Summer House, if we should call it.
They did they did in the first season. Amir. This is when I think Shanice was naked and Amir was talking to Preston, I think. And then Amir was like, did you see that? And the camera shakes yes. Like it saw it too. So, yeah, I mean, they cut all of it out, obviously, but I'll look dead in the camera like, do you see this shit? Like, what do you, like, why am I here? Like, this is, so yeah, we definitely break fourth wall a lot, but they cut all of it out for sure.
Okay. And before we get into Summer House, I want to know, what was your life like before the show? Like, what was Summer up to? What were you doing?
Summer is a production coordinator, a writer, and an actor. And I live in LA. So where do you guys stay?
We're South Florida. Miami
area. Okay. Nice. So in LA, obviously it's very different than New York. I'm not like on the train running to see people all the time. I really am a recluse and I see like my main people and that's really it. And then I go to work, I work out, I see like my core group of friends, I play with my dog, and that's really all I do. So yeah, it's pretty tame on this side. Which is why I enjoy going to New York, because it is so a 180, you know, you see a lot of people, you meet a lot of people, everything's very accessible. So I like that, but I like living in LA as well because it's calmer.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, like this is just the hustle and bustle of New York City.
It's wild, but it's like it's not so even attractive.
New York. It's Martha's Vineyard, but like that's what it gives you.
Yeah. And every time we go do something for the show, we stay in New York. So it's a nice, like, it's just a nice comparison, or a nice juxtaposition of the two. And Nick's cousin, I know we met her last episode or the episode before. she's never been to New York. And so LA, excuse me. So she's coming on Friday to stay with me for a couple of days. So she can see like, as well, speak to how calm it is. And that's why there's a lot of things that happen where I'm around too many people and this is not what I'm used to. So, things happen more than they would, but yeah.
You got overstimulated.
Yeah.
Like on 10.
Right.
Especially when you were in the closet, like folding stuff up. I'm like, that's what I do. When I'm stressed the fuck out, I go right in my closet and just start doing
like, because I had like, I think the night of was it Bria situation? Yeah, I started packing. So I was like, fuck this. Like, I don't want to be around these people anymore. And so our room was a mess. I saw some girl that was like, their room is a mess. And I'm like, yeah, because I was packing to leave. Like, I was ready to be out of here. And so when the whole party was happening and I was reflecting on everything that was happening, because I do spend a lot of time secluded or like with just a certain amount of people in LA, it's easier for me to like push it aside and just like, like if there's problems in my life or things in the past that I should have dealt with, it's easier for me to push it aside. But being in this house, it makes you kind of have to deal with everything. And so I hit a point where everything just kind of blew up and I was like, okay, shit's bad and I'm hitting a rock bottom, but at least I know now that I have to deal with things. There's no more hiding from it. And there's no more running from it. So then I was just like, I'm downstairs at Lux on the Bluff and I'm watching everyone be drunk as fuck. And it was hilarious. It was so funny. But I was like, I need to spend some time by myself and just like reflect and gather my thoughts. And I think at that time, a producer had asked me to have another serious conversation that day. And I was like, I can't do it. Like, I'm at my wit's end. I need some alone time. So that's why I go upstairs and I just like start cleaning my closet. And then Jasmine comes to check. And we had a beautiful conversation, which it didn't make it, but we had a really, really great conversation about life and about her becoming a new mother and just like, and with Chloe too, Jordan's friend, it was a beautiful conversation. So it's just like a nice reset is what that was.
Yeah, I think they show like the aftermath of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, okay, obviously we got to get to what everyone is talking about because it wouldn't be us if we didn't get to ask you these questions, and we need you to fill it in the blanks, honey, because it's just, you have been like we're rooting for you this season. We didn't get to see so much of you last season, and then this season you come in and it's like a completely different person, but it's not really a completely different person. We're just seeing more of you, and you're also going through something that was very serious, which we do want to ask first respectfully, like, how is Nana?
Nana's good. She is recovering from her eye surgery, so she's good. It's taking a little bit of time, but she's definitely doing better. Thank you.
Okay, I'm so glad to hear that she is doing good, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter like what you're doing, if I agree or disagree. I'm like, at the end of the day, she's battling something else, and like this is way more important than whatever the fuck we got going on here.
That's why I packed my bag. I was like, I want to go, because like to fight with these people about some bullshit is like not what I want to do. Like my priorities are elsewhere. I was going through so my Nana was having surgery and I couldn't be there for her. My mom had recently shared information with me, which helped me understand why she became an addict in the first place. So that was like sitting with me. I was losing a best friend. I was moving. I had work. I had Jordan talking to me about her hair. I had Preston, whose father just died. And I didn't grow up in a household where healthy conflict resolution was modeled or healthy interdependence was modeled. So all I knew was how to be indispensable to other people so they wouldn't leave. And then I knew, you could tell I went to therapy now. Like I got all the words in my head. And then I also didn't feel safe relying on people that were close to me, because all the people closest to me as a kid had left or hurt me in some way. So I never had that stable, I feel comfortable unloading on people, or I didn't feel like safe with my shit being held. And so it's like, you're like a bin, and you keep stuffing your bin with papers, eventually it's going to overflow. It's like, you have to take things out. and you have to like make room. And I wasn't doing that. And everything was just like sitting inside of me. And some things that I didn't even know that were still sitting inside of me. Because like I said, when I'm in LA, I'm pretty much like just with my, you know, my calm people.
It's dormant.
Yeah, exactly. And so now like I'm getting drunk and I'm not trusting people. There's people in front of the camera and behind the camera I wasn't trusting. So it was like I didn't know what to do. I didn't have the tools, you know. And then there's a moment which you'll see during the reunion where Noelle's like, sorry, my dog. Noelle's like, well, Summer, why didn't you talk to me about what you were going through? And I had to be like, well, one, Noelle, like you and I had just met before we came into this house. I met you twice before coming into this house. So for you to think that I would tell you about my trauma as a child the first day I meet you was crazy. I couldn't even talk to Jordan and Preston about what was going on with me. So why would I tell you? And she keeps saying this, like, I don't know this side of Summer, you know, da da da. But it's like, this is the only side you know of me because you didn't know me that well before. So it was a rock bottom that needed to happen. It was like, now you really have to face all the shit that you've been going through in life. And so the day after Bree and I had our argument, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to drink anymore because I'm not coming into this in a healthy way. I see clearly, obviously, that I'm hurting and I'm hurting those around me. And that's not what I want to do. I don't like hurting other people. And I completely believe in like evolution and being better the next day, but you have to like face everything clearly. And so during Lux on the Bluff, even though it was like just after all that shit happened, I felt so much better because the veil was lifted and I was like, okay, these are the things I have to deal with. And it's going to be ugly, but it's better to progress and be better than just keep pushing it down and holding it in. So everything happened. As messy as it is, it happened, and it was a very human experience. And it's a hard thing to do in front of everybody and around people you don't trust and on TV, and you lose your power sometimes because you're not in the editing room. You don't get to see all the little things that happen that add to it. So, but it's still a very privileged thing to do. So I'm still very grateful, and it's not lost on me, but, and I'm better for it too. So yeah.
No, like that is so, like that's such good insight, and it gives us you know, more insight on like where you were coming into the house, and also like kind of other people's expectations of you that they may have when I don't really know you like that, girl. So it's just it's stressful.
You met me once while we were drunk, or I was drunk, and then the second time you met me was the day before we came into the house to go shopping. So you don't even know my middle name. So like, how do you have these, like, you know who I am? But it was, I think what it added to, because there was a moment during this season where I think we're in the living room or something, we're playing a game or we're just talking, and someone asks Noelle, based on what you saw the first season, how did you feel about everybody? So she already had like an idea of who people were or what she was being shown. And everyone watching this is not in the entertainment industry. They don't also understand, like, you're watching the edited version of reality. It's not verbatim, like, it's not a live stream. You're not seeing it exactly how it happened. It'd be impossible to show all that too. It would be way too impossible. But yeah, it's just, it's kind of hard to give up that power too and be like, okay, well, Summer's the villain this year. I'm like, okay, let's go. It is what it is. I have to like deal with it. It's okay.
I need to know like the extent. Okay, now we know you only met Noelle like twice before the show even really started filming.
Why didn't you share a room with her? And I was like, I wouldn't have. I don't know you. And I was also so like, why does it matter if I sleep in Noelle's room or with Jordan? I called dibs on the master anyway. So it was like, either way, I was going to be sharing a room with a girl. So
that makes sense.
But I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, like you're adding context, which is what we're missing.
Yeah.
Which is filling it out. This is a great conversation.
Yeah.
And it's obviously, we have to talk about the elephant in the room, which is obviously going to be the Alex thing. So what was the extent of your conversation, at least from what you gathered, the extent of your conversation between you and Noelle regarding Alex in general?
So the exact conversation we had, we were at lunch on, I think, 3rd and something in Manhattan. And she was like, okay, girl, give me a rundown of all the people in the house. And so I was like talking to her about everybody. And my exact words to her were, Alex and I have hung out, but now we're just friends. So when I say, but now we're just friends, I'm thinking like, you understand that it was more than just friends before that. And she said, and I said, so he and I are just friends now. Like we are just friends. So if you could be the love of his life and he could be the love of your life. Just because we've been intimate does not mean I'm going to stand in the way. I have no feelings for him that way. And she was like, no, girl. She was like, if I know my friends even talk to a guy, I won't ever talk to him or pursue him whatsoever. So I said, okay, entirely up to you. So then we come into the house. I say what I say the first night at the dinner table. So I'm thinking there's no confusion as to what happened, you know, coupled with the first conversation, coupled with that crazy ass statement during dinner. It was like, it's very clear. And then, but apparently she didn't understand or she didn't hear the comment, whatever. She then starts to pursue Alex. But her words to me at that lunch we had were, I won't ever talk to a guy if I know my friends even talk to him. So if you decide to pursue him, then you should have came to me and said, what exactly did you guys do before I pursued any further? Then she comes to me in my room and we're sitting there and she was just like, I didn't know you and Alex fucked. And I said, yeah. And she was like, oh, okay. Like it wasn't clear to me. I said, my bad. I'm sorry. And then she still decided to pursue him. So it's no longer on me, you know? And we had to talk about it in nauseam. There's so many times we talked about it. I talked to her about it before we had the basketball game. I talked to her after the basketball game. She came into my room to talk about it. We talked about it so many times where I was like, I apologize for the miscommunication. I was not trying to set you up. I was trying to get you some dick. My bad. It didn't work out well. So that's why when we're by the pool, Noelle comes to me. This is when I blow up again. Noelle comes to me and she's like, we have to talk about it again. And at that point, I think she had even stopped talking to Alex. So I was like, why are we still talking about it? Like, why? This no longer is, I don't want to talk about it anymore. Mm-hmm. But I understand we're doing a job, so we have to talk about it. And so her and I were sitting at the pool alone and we were going to talk about it. And then Bria and Shanice walk over. And she was like, if Bria and Shanice come over, do you want to talk about it? My exact words to her were, no, I don't want to talk about it when Bria and Shanice come over because I don't want to feel like I'm getting ganged up on right now. And it has nothing to do with them. So I already know how Shanice feels about me. You know, I know that Bria, that's her friend. I don't feel like doing it right now. And I'm also dealing with a lot outside of this. I don't want to do it. Bria and Shanice come over. Bria asks about it and Noelle starts talking about it. And that's why I lose my shit. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, I can't trust you outside of all this shit. Like, I just said I don't want to talk about it. I'm sorry I didn't say this. I'm sorry I didn't say that. And I got up and left because I was irritated as fuck.
The insight. This is all making so much sense.
It changes it, right? It changes it because it looks like I'm just like, it looks like I just keep saying it just to say it. And like, yeah. But it's like, this is what I said already. This is why I said this already. And now you're playing me when I just said I didn't want to talk about it. And that's why you see Noelle go into the kitchen when she's talking to Jasmine. And she was like, I feel bad because I feel like Summer feels like she's getting ganged up on. Because those were my exact words. Because I didn't want that to happen. And that's exactly what happened. That's why I get up and walk away because I'm pissed.
But even with that particular situation too, like you said, it was addressed multiple times on camera. Aside from you and her talking about it, it was in the car as well with Princeton. And she brought it up and she was like, I don't necessarily like the idea of dealing with somebody that one of my friends has dealt with. It was like one of those type of conversations.
Yeah.
So maybe was she saying, like, do you feel like she was saying maybe like kind of what you said, you guys aren't necessarily friends right now?
And that's why I gave her the go ahead. But don't come and make it my fault that you didn't hear exactly what happened when it happened, even though I said it multiple times. And then you still came to me and asked me about it. And I told you the truth. We're sitting in my room. And then she decided to pursue him. Mm-hmm. And then the whole thing happened in the club. And then they still want to talk to me about it again. I'm like, haven't I done enough? Like, you got to pay me extra overtime. I've been told you. Yeah.
And I reiterated that to you.
why am I still here?
And on top of that, you just said that you don't want to talk to him anymore because you don't feel like he's feeling you. So what is there to talk about, basically?
I don't feel, no, the thing is that the last time Alex and I were intimate, he said, I feel like I could have a relationship and I feel like I could also still be a fuckboy. And I clocked that. I was like, I don't want to deal with that. That sounds really ugly. And that was the last time we were intimate. And I still had respect for him after that. We're still friends after that. Like, we can still talk and everything. But that doesn't appeal to me. And so I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that anymore. But I know that he's a good person. I know that he means well and he has good intentions in life. That's why I had no problem being like, Noelle, this might be the, you know what I mean? And I knew she had feelings for him. So I said, go ahead. It'd be different if you watch this show, I'm not the one crying over him. I'm not the one calling my mom crying about him. I was crying about everything else in life. He was not a factor. I'm not repressed about this man. It'd be different if I was like, go ahead, pursue him. And then I'm cussing her out the side because she's pursuing him. It no longer was about me. Mm-hmm. But they kept making me want to, I was like, I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Do you think that kind of put a strain on your relationship with her, though? Because, like, even the moment where you had the blow up and she was like, no, Summer, no. Like,
yeah, that had nothing to do with her because, well, mind you, I was like, I barely remember that conversation, to be honest. But I know how I get when I'm angry and drunk. And I'm like, which they didn't include, but I verbatim say to Noelle, because she's trying to calm me down. As soon as she steps to me, I put my hands up like, don't touch me. I don't want this. Like, don't touch me. And it's not about you right now. I'm mad at Bria and you're walking into the line of fire. I'm telling you to leave me alone and you keep pursuing me. I'm running throughout the house to get away from her. And there's so many times Noelle is grabbing me. She's putting her hands on me. And I said, Noelle, I need you to stop touching me because I'm angry and it's not about you. And it became like she was playing the martyr in this situation to like, I know her intent was to help and to calm me down and everything like that. I don't take that away from her because that's who she likes to help. I understand that. But if someone says, stop putting your hands on me, I'm angry, stop touching me, I ran to my room, she popped in. What's going on? Like, I need you to leave me alone. So that's eventually why I'm like, stop touching me. And I push her hands off of me because for 2 hours it was happening. So it was just like, okay, like, I need you to stop. I need you to leave me alone.
2 hours, I can't handle that. Because like, respect my boundaries. Yeah. I'm trying to explain to you, even in my drunkenness, if you want to, call it whatever it is, I'm still telling you, please don't touch me. So if you don't respect that.
Yes. And I told her for 2 hours straight. That's why eventually in my room, you see me saying, I'm not your anchor. I'm not your friend. Those are your friends. I'm basically like, go Lassie, like, leave me alone. And I feel like the fact that you keep chasing me and you keep wanting to fix me in this moment is making me even more irritated. My exact words to her were, I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at Bria and you're standing in the line of fire. It's not about you and stop making it about you. So I warn you for a long time. And now I'm the bad guy because I pushed your hands off of me after an hour or two of having the same conversation. You know?
They didn't show like a lot of that. It's just missing context because it was just basically like you pushed her and you're like, see, I pushed Noelle. And I'm like, wait.
Yeah. Because I love you, Summer, but honestly at that time I'm like, damn, why are they what's going on? I don't like this.
It doesn't make sense. And if you watch it back, it's very choppy, but it's like I didn't like it either. And we replayed a whole compilation of me recently. And I started crying because I was like, damn, like, I just want to give her a hug. Because I now watch it as if it's like kind of someone else. Because it's just like, damn, like, you were going through so much and I just want to hug her. But at the same time, I don't think I was ready for that. Like, I had to go through this. So, but yeah, of course I look like the villain. Of course that looks crazy for me just to push her randomly. It's just like, no, you don't see me telling her to leave me alone for an hour. Stop touching me. Get your hands off of me. Stop touching me. So eventually move. Like, get off.
Absolutely.
Like,
wow.
You know,
I get it.
Her intent again. And again, her intent was to help, but her impact just made me feel like threatened. It was just like, I need to go. Like, stop.
So can I ask what was going on with Bria? Like,
Yeah. So
especially about the clicks. Like, I wanted to know like what you meant, because okay, this is how I perceived it when you're able to like kind of explain it. It's just that you, Jordan and Preston, you guys talk about the heavier things, the more serious
the realness
things.
of life. Yeah.
The realness of life. And then you see them having a fun, light friendship, and that's kind of like what you meant.
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. And it wasn't, and this is why I'm mad that Natalie is the one that ran and told my business, because that's not how I said it. What I was saying was, and that's not how I had meant it. I meant like exactly that. I was going through so much. I was so heavy. My friends were going through heavy things. I was jealous of the fact that these girls, could have been them, could have been someone in the street. Who cares? They were having a good ass time. And that's what I wanted to do in that space, but I emotionally couldn't do it. Right. And that's why I was just like, you don't understand. Like, I feel so heavy. I feel like sad. And I just wanted to have fun and shake my ass and not think so much about everything. So I was definitely jealous of that. But yeah, it was the way that also Natalie was just like, I'll tell Summer's business, like, this is how she felt. It was just like, that's not what I was saying at all.
Yeah, she got on and she started acting like she's been there since.
Acting like she was paid to be there. But but what was I about to say? Yeah, so that was the clicky thing. And the thing with Bria is it's kind of unclear too. Like, it's kind of hard to tell what was going on. So we were in the jacuzzi and Bria was getting into the jacuzzi and she said something, or at least I thought she said something like out of pocket. And so I was just like, what did you say? I was like, did you just say something? And she was like, no, I didn't say anything. But mind you, it was very loud. There's like a party going on. So I said, okay, my bad. I misunderstood you. My bad. She gets in the jacuzzi. She's sitting and talking to Shanice, and she keeps bringing up the fact that I thought that she said something. And I'm like, why do you I already apologized. I was wrong. I misunderstood you. And I said, sorry. So why do you keep bringing it up to Shanice? And she was like, because. And she talked about the fact that what she went through with Mariah when she was being accused of doing something and she didn't do it, it was like triggering her. And I was like, yeah, but I'm not Mariah. And I just admitted my fault in this wrongdoing. So let's dead it. And so, I thought we had did it. I thought it was cool. So then you see me go up to Shanice's room and Bria brings it up several more times. So I'm like, either we're good or we're not. Either we have a problem or we don't. But stop playing in my face, pretending like it's okay if it's not. Tell me what it is. And so I was tired of apologizing and I was tired of going around in circles. And then it just like escalated.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I've been saying that. I feel like that's just what I see in the show. It's like she'll be like, "No, it's cool," and then it's really fine, and then she'll
and then it comes back up. It's like, tell me. Shanice is exactly the same way. Either tell me, if you say, "Okay, I forgive you," you cannot hold it over that person's head anymore. You don't need to say, "I forgive you" if you don't. You say, "Okay, I hear you, and I'm going to sit with this for a while, and I'll come back to you if I want to." Don't tell me you've forgiven me if you're going to bring it back up every 15 seconds. So then I was irritated and I was drunk. So it was just not a good mix.
Fair enough.
No, it's definitely fair.
Thank you.
Like, it's just really, things are making, I feel like 2015 Kylie Jenner, when she's like, I'm realizing things, and I'm realizing
just like so many things. Like, I want to do
so
things.
many things. And like,
I just recently saw that video. Yeah.
It's just like, I made fun of her when she did it, but then I'm just like, you know what? This is me every day. Like, I don't know anything. I'm just realizing things.
Yeah. And that's why I don't get mad at people on Twitter, because sometimes I'll say something, but I understand that everybody doesn't have all the context, and they're just going off of what they're being shown. So it's not their fault. So for me to sit on there and be like allowing their words to affect me in a negative way, or to sit up there and fight with people about some shit, it's like we're living two different lives right now. So it's two different languages we're speaking. So I'm not even gonna bother.
I think from our perspective, we feel like we know y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not that big of a deal. Tomorrow they'll be okay, hopefully.
You'll be like, I love you.
Exactly. And it's like, you guys can talk your shit, but not too much.
Not too much.
Yeah. And the thing is that I think when it comes to Bria, we're in a good place now, but I feel like we kind of have like similarness when we're drunk. It's like, although I'm very apologetic, she's very defensive. So it's like like I can't penetrate if she's like not allowing it, So it's just, so that's why we butt heads, because bitch, I'm here for you. Cut this shit off. But she's very like, no. No one's gonna hurt me. It's her defense mechanism.
Especially when she's holding Milo. Like, I just feel like that gives her a magical she goes off.
She does. She's like, be mad. I hated that conversation. That was a horrible conversation. But I think her defense mechanism is to run away, and then mine is like to push people away. So it's just, but when we are around each other and we're sober, she's a joy to be around. She really is.
Yeah,
we gotta talk about the hard part now.
I said, what? Which part? Well, I thought we did.
Alex.
Oh, that's easy.
Why? How do I ask this? Why did you choose to use those words specifically? And it's so funny because now I unironically use it. So I'm just like,
hear people say it all the time now, first of all.
Real for that. Because I'm like, that is kind of like overwhelmingly real. Like, yeah.
This is all I know. This is all I know. And I forget that people don't talk the way I talk. Like even in my sober state, I have a very crass way of speaking. I am an actor and I am a writer. So I feel like I'm honest with who I am and how I show up and what I say. And I say crazy shit all the time. And I was drunk as fuck. So I had no filter. So it was just like, and we had been having that conversation again for like an hour. So I was like, let's get to it. Like, I'm tired of all this fluff and all these niceties. Like, this is what it is.
Period.
So I think some people on this show don't always show up completely authentic, and they try to play games, and it's draining for them, I'm sure, but I just don't know how to do that. I like to be honest and open with my shit. And so, but yeah, on a day-to-day basis, I have a very crude sense of humor, and I say things in a very crass way. And obviously when I'm drunk, it is. I didn't, if I had said like, someone you've been intimate with versus what I said, the subtext is exactly the same. It means the exact same thing.
It is.
So it is what it is.
People just don't say it like you do.
They don't.
You were just very matter of fact. And I'm like, at first I was shocked. I'm like, why is she saying this? And then I thought it was because you said it a second time. I'm like, okay, so this is out of jealousy. It has to be out of jealousy.
Sounds like it.
Why? Yeah, like why would you describe it like that? But then also just hearing more of like the subtext of it, of just beating the same dead horse over and over again. It's like, how many different ways can I say it?
Yeah. And so when Alex and I talked about on the boat after that, I did apologize, because that is a very wild thing to say, especially around people you don't know, especially on television. It's completely insane. And I know my Nana was not happy about it, but beyond not happy about it. But I don't apologize. I was like, I don't apologize for what I said. I just apologize for how I said it. And I understand now.
It's the truth.
It is exactly the truth. And Alex and I got into a little bit of a disagreement after the first episode aired, or after we saw the first episode, because of the fuckboy statement came up. And he was in the group chat and was like subtweeting me in the group chat, and was just like, you're allowed to feel how you feel, but don't lie through your effing teeth. And so I texted back very polite. And because I had Nick on the phone, I was like, Nick, I'm going to draft this message and you tell me if this is polite. Because, sometimes, like I said, I speak crass from time to time. And so I was like, if you have a problem with someone in the group, call them directly and let's talk about it. Don't text about it, because no matter who you text arguments to with, it never, because you hear things differently than how it's meant to be. So I was like, call me And let's not make our problem everybody else's problem. Let's talk about it one-on-one. Look at me learning my lessons. Like, this is crazy.
Realizing things, babe.
Right. Look at that growth. Because I can hear people like, oh, that's ironic, but whatever. So he called me and he was mad about the fuckboy comment, even though he did say it, and even though it was confirmed by Shanice multiple times. And I'm like, what does it matter? That's not the worst thing. Like, you're young and attractive. You should be out here fucking do what you want to do. So I was like, I understand. Like, we're all going to be mad about different things this season. I have a lot that's going to go on for me. Let's not make it harder on each other. But I said, Alex, what I'm irritated about first episode is that you're playing into this narrative that I wanted you more than I did. And I don't like that narrative. And he was like, I'm not doing that, Summer. I'm not doing that, Summer. Come episodes 2, 3, 4. I'm like, yes, you are. You're completely playing into this narrative. And I don't like it. So I forgot your original question, but the Alex of it all is just
that's what that was my next question. Exactly. Like, how do you feel about like the following episodes where not just kind of playing into the narrative that you wanted something more and he wasn't with it, and like the whole picture situation, but how do you also feel about him kind of trying to paint the narrative that you are not a mean girl, but he's like, well, I'm seeing this side of Summer that it's just like,
I think it's a lack of like, he did even say something during the reunion. He did even say something during the reunion. So I'm not allowed, I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, but it feels like, okay, so you did know Summer coming into the first season. You do see a difference in Summer. So maybe you should know that something's going on with Summer and she's not how she usually is. There's something wrong with Summer right now. And instead of just judging me all the time for it, I think there are multiple opportunities to try to show up for your friend who's obviously going through something, you know? And he never did that. He never did, even on like a basic friendship level. And that's why I was irritated the first night too, because when I didn't get that invite, and there's many times that Alex and I have hung out platonically in LA and New York and just talked about our art and talked about where we see life going and talked about just the basic humanity things. And so when that invite didn't happen, we had already stopped seeing each other. I was just like, damn, like my feelings are hurt. You know, I have to reevaluate our friendship, because if I'm not the type of friend that you would invite to your art that means something to you, then yeah, my feelings are hurt. If Nick had an event in New York and didn't invite me, my feelings would be definitely hurt. But was there something more because there was an intimate level added? I'm sure there was. Because you know me on a more intimate level than anybody here. So yeah, my feelings are definitely hurt. But I think that's why, like, I will fight with Bria, but I know Bria. I know that she has such, like, her trauma responses are to defend herself and run away, and she's like hurting sometimes. So that's why, even though her and I fight, I still understand her, and I still understand she's a human being going through human experience and is learning and healing and doing on a very grandiose scale, which is not normal at all. So I don't like that a lot of people just immediately judged me and weren't like, but I know somewhere outside of this, and I know that this is not how she shows up. Like Shanice, when I brought her to Jamaica, didn't have to pay for anything in the house. Like, didn't have to, my grandmother was cooking every meal for her. My grandfather was making her drinks and treating her like his own granddaughter. And we had a good ass time. So she knows who I am outside of this. And for her to not speak to that, or to think that I was trying to be malicious with her and hurt her is just so, we're in different realities. I don't know.
I definitely, like, just adding all that context, I get it, but you know, when you see it, it does look shady, because it was just like,
I know completely.
So you're like, Shanice, and it's just
I was like Shanice, because she was like, that wasn't your question. I was like, we all were answering everyone's questions. That's a part of the, you're playing, we're friends, and I talk shit with my friends all the time, and as we all do in this group too, and we're playing a game called Spill the Tea, which sounds messy as fuck.
That's what the game. Shady. Yeah, it's a setup kind of a little bit.
Exactly. And I didn't sit up there saying, hey Shanice, because you can't afford clothes, that's what makes you wear dress. I would never do that. She says just never wearing clothes. Like if someone said, Summer, you're the worst basketball player, watch the replay. You see me like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not going to get upset because I know I'm not training and I'm not putting in the work. I put in the work to dress well. You know, like it means something. She puts in the work to have an amazing body. If someone said, who doesn't have the best body here, and they said Summer, I'd be like, yeah, because I don't put in the work like Shanice does. I put in work to like find cute outfits and reach out to companies and do the whole thing. So
that's totally understandable. So then lightening things up, like we saw you on Watch What Happens Live. You looked amazing. Like you were giving like classic 90s beauty, eat me up, spit me out. Like dying. Love
Thank
that.
You so much.
How's that experience being on, you know, Watch What Happens Live? You guys have a second season. Everyone is chatting. You had an electric episode. Whether people loved you or hate you, people are talking about you. Like, how is it? Like, just enjoying it? I mean, are you enjoying it?
I've learned to, like, at first, because of, you know, all the things that have happened and the lack of context, it's very like,
it's hard.
It's very difficult, but I have amazing people around me. And whenever there's a hard situation that's about to happen, because we get the episodes on Friday. And so I'll wait like a minute to get them. But Preston and Nick, if there's a hard moment that's going to happen for me, they'll call, they'll check. And I think looking at it from a different lens, like I told you, with people watching a different reality than the one I lived, it's like, I can't be mad at these people for saying what they're saying. I'd probably think the same things too. So now I have to watch it like I'm not in it. I'm like, yo, this bitch is crazy. Like, why is she doing all that? So I've learned to love it. And I've learned to focus on the growth and the healing that's happened since then, because this happened like 9 months ago. So it's like, it's a kind of beautiful thing to like have video evidence of the growth that's happened in my life since then too. Like, damn, like I was back there and I wasn't dealing with this, but now I have an amazing relationship with my mom. I have a great relationship with my friends. I have progress in my career. It's just like, okay, I can physically see the growth, which is really cool too. So I'm more than grateful for it.
It's so good to hear that you're in a better place, and it seems like you are. And obviously, just speaking to you, you can just tell that you are. And we're like proud of you for doing the work, because that is just really hard.
You're
and
doing
just
the damn thing.
Black women doing the damn thing too. Also, so wrapping up just the Summer House chat, what can you, without getting in trouble, because we don't want to get y'all in trouble, tell us about the reunion?
Ooh.
Anything that you can tell us, anything.
It gets, as you would expect, it gets shady. I mean, I told you I cried, which, surprise, surprise, right? It's shady. There's definitely a lot of Natalie talk.
Sometimes.
You know, and things will be addressed, but there's still things to this day where you're like, wow, like I was talking to Nick's cousin Bree yesterday about the scene, because it's wild that we're watching some of the things you guys watched the first time too, and it's like she really sat up there and said, I make as much as Amir makes in 1 year and 1 month. I was like, that's so degrading to your partner.
I am still talking about that. Like I literally
I wouldn't say that to my friend. I wouldn't say that to my man if I'm with him. Like, that's crazy to put that on national television.
And she stood on that shit.
No, she meant it, honey.
Yeah.
I was also like, because I felt like she really did not want to be a part of Freaknik, but it was like, if I'm going to someone's house or like say someone's different culture or whatever, I'm going to assimilate as much as possible. And I signed up for it. I'm going to learn as much as possible and I'm going to be about it. But she came in like, I don't have time, or I can't be around that.
Also, like,
having the same conversations as
we had that whole conversation.
Literally.
Like, what is that?
Literally, what do you mean? Go home then,
because
Roger. Why are you here?
You did shake some ass, so like, let's not act like, what are we talking about here?
She explained it as because she has like a very corporate job, so she doesn't want to be seen in a way on TV, but I'm also like, then why didn't you do like Tasia and come the next day? Why did you come during the most ratchet event we were going to have? Why are you here? It's crazy.
And then like, even if, like, why are you starting shit? Like, also, like, I'm sure with corporate, like,
and everybody
shit.
It. It's just especially, like, I'm really proud of Tasia. Tasia shut that shit down too, and I'm really proud of her for that because why would you do that? Why would you? If you and do you know how loud it was at that table? Like, we could not hear each other, and we were like fighting with producers because they wanted us to talk, and I'm like, I can't even hear. When I was sitting next to Nick, and so when Natalie gets up to go talk to Tasia, I can't even hear what Natalie's saying at all to Tasia. So it was just all like mouthing. But for her to do that to her friend too, and you don't see this, but Natalie, Donald, and Tasia, while they were in the house, they pulled each other inside and said, we're not going to get into any drama. We're going to collectively protect each other. Natalie did the exact opposite of that. So I don't know why she came in that way. I think there's the pressure of, I think there's the pressure of wanting to appease producers and be a part of the mix and do it. But it was just like wrong left and right.
It was messy.
And
that shit was messy as hell.
So messy.
I was trying to give her a chance. Like, I even told
Me
Aaron,
too.
okay, like, let's give her a chance. This is the first episode, and you know what? She ended up going to the party, so I'm gonna give her a chance. But then the second episode, I'm like, you gotta go home. Sorry.
Yeah.
It was like a comment with Amir for me, where I was just like, I don't necessarily like, I don't know if this is how she is. I did give her that benefit of the doubt, but I'm like, from what I'm seeing, I just don't like this. Like,
and you go back to my comment during the first episode where I think Shanice is like something about Amir's girlfriend, and I'm like, first time I met her, she was very standoffish and rude. So I feel like it was just the same kind of vibe. Like, that's just what I know now. And for her to run to, because she really doesn't seem to be the best or the biggest fan of Jordan, but yet you want to kiki with her and gossip with her, but yet you don't like her and you're insecure about her. So which is it? You know, you can't pick a side.
And it's like, Jordan does not want Amir. Like, are we missing?
No one
something?
wants Amir. Amir is the child. He's not a child. He's the child of the house. He is
like, you guys see
the young brother.
Yeah. It's like,
the
relax.
things he says too. The things he says, I was like, you want to pair this grown ass woman with this person? Like, it would not work. And I think I don't know if Natalie sees that, because she definitely wears the pants in that relationship. But I want Amir Amir deserves so much love and trust. I don't think she trusts him. Nothing that he's done, but he deserves a great woman to stand by his side and take responsibility for things too. But I don't know. I've made more than my partners before, money wise, and they've made more than me before, money wise. Never in my entire life have I or a partner ever degraded each other about money to each other or in person in a group of people on national television. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, that is like a totally different. It was weird to watch.
He just stood there and was like, yeah. I don't know if that was an edit, because who knows, but it was just like,
it also just seemed like
we
he
were
didn't
able
know.
to. Yeah, we were able to ask him because we had him on the pod, and I was just like very straight up, like, is Natalie beating your ass? And he's like, no. So there's no.
Shut the fuck
I just want
up.
everyone. I asked him because people were in the comment section. They're like, he's so scared. Something is going on. And I'm like, I think that he's playing the role of, I'm the wife guy. My wife's gonna get mad. Blah blah blah. And I'm just like, I need you to like just be clear. This is a safe space. Like, is she beating your ass?
Blink twice. Blink twice if you need help. But I feel like it's definitely like a manipulation tactic too, because there's times where Amir was like, what do you think I should eat? And she was like, that question wasn't for me. You're cheating. Like, it just sounds so like making him feel worse so she can feel better. And Amir is a very loving, giving, sweet human being. He's so sweet. He's really a sweet and human being. And so I just don't want her past insecurities to affect her relationship with him, because she has a gem.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
but okay, we wrapped all the summer house talk. What we do want to know is, like, can you tell the people, what can we do to support you? Like, what are you working on?
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So my friends and I just started a company called Present Self. It's a health and wellness company. We really wanted to create a community for women. We're going to start with women. Eventually we'll branch out to men, but we started with women. We want to create a community where you can come and receive support from your community, spiritual healing. And so we launch this summer for like an exclusive kind of party in LA, but then we're going to branch out and start doing retreats. And then hopefully we branch out to having spas. So we're just creating a health and wellness company. Yeah, it's called Present Self. And it's in my bio on Instagram. So if you could follow before that'd be great.
It's going to be, it's going to be in the description.
Thank you.
And aside from that, can you tell us, just by chance, can we expect a season 3 or like what?
I really don't know. I would give a little something, but it has not been. It's been in the talks, but there's been nothing secured.
Because I need for y'all too. Like I really do. This is one of the best shows that I've seen in a really long time, and it's like I know it's good because I actually watch it.
Yeah.
Like on time. I'm tuned in.
That's sweet. Yeah, I love it for what it is. It's a very beautiful show because it shows so many different backgrounds for people, and it allows people to see conflict and resolution.
Yes.
And it allows people to see themselves in their friendships, or it's teaching them how to show it better in their friendships or for their family. So there's definitely such beauty to it. I think I've given it all that I can, so I don't think I would return for season 3 unless I just come for Lux on the Bluff, just to support Nick. But I think because I'm an actor, I can't be on Bravo Custom Bria out. You know what I mean? Like, this is my path.
Well, I mean, because the original Summer House, what they do is they go out of town and they do their thing and they show them working. So I'm like, if we can
white people can do. Okay, so
it's a little different, and I think I really like when I work on I'm shooting a film right now, and when I'm on set on a scripted series or a scripted movie or something scripted, you all come in collaborating and wanting this thing to happen together, and it's art and it's love and it's family and it's safe. This environment is the exact opposite of that. People have their own agendas, individuals have their own agendas. Everyone does. And so it doesn't feel good to me, like I've learned everything I've learned and I'm grateful for it. Always will be. I've met some amazing people through it, but I want to put myself only in places where I feel loved and supported. And that is in the scripted world.
And that's understood. And we will support that and we will watch it. And that's how we'll get our dose of summer.
And then,
I'm gonna come for Lux on the Bluff. I'll come for Lux on the Bluff if Nick has it again. Yeah.
When we see you in your scripted things, we'll remember that we met you in a different way, and we saw so many shades of summer, and like we knew. You know what? This is like your BAPS phase. Like you are Halle Berry. We knew you in your BAPS phase, and we're about to know you in your Monsters Ball era.
Yeah.
And I just can't wait.
I love that so much.
I can't wait to see all you have ahead. And like, we cannot thank you enough for doing the podcast. We can't thank you enough for supporting us. And we are so happy that you came to talk to us. And anytime that you see anything that we post, or if you hear a clip, it's just us watching the show as the show, and we love y'all down. And I
feel that it's felt every angle, even when it's shady. I'm like, this is funny as fuck because it's so true. Because your memes and the things you say are still rooted in trueness. That's what makes it so great and so funny. And I look forward to it every week. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And thank you guys for listening. And if you're watching, thank you for watching. We are going to release this, and we want you to watch Summer House Martha's Vineyard. And remember, if you're watching the regular one, but not the black one, then they're racist. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.